Hello, YouTube! YouTube! It's Custom Grow 420, just kidding. It's Smiley here, back at you with another video. I figured I'm just going to get a little deeper into the actual technical analysis side of things, give you what a lot of you are probably going to be looking for. I know that, I'm trying to build a community where we can just be open and transparent between each other and with our trading and our trading growth, self-discovery, all that. But obviously, there's things that people want, and that is technical analysis, price targets, entry, stop loss, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to get into that and how I trade. And I'm just going to go through the top 10 market cap from crypto market cap. I'm obviously not including Tether because everything's in Tether, USD, whatever. And I think from there, we're just going to continue growing with the channel. I'll take any requests if you want to comment on the YouTube comments, go for it. I'm also in the Discord, our Discord, which I'll bring up now because it is important that we get this going, this Discord going, because it's going to be the main, it's the main communication tool between you and me, anybody, my team. Obviously, there's not that many people, but like I say, we're trying to do things from the ground up here. And we had one person come in and unfortunately they saw it in the Trade Devils, my video in the Trade Devils Discord. So very happy for the people that shared it there. Thank you for joining. Please, share this as much as you can. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us here on Discord. I'll have the links and everything below so you can stay up to date. But with that said, let's just get right into the actual analysis here. I'm gonna start with Bitcoin because that's what everybody looks at. And I'm just going to do an analysis, from scratch here. I've done this before. I'm trading Bitcoin regularly. I want to go through this so you guys can see exactly how I chart a naked chart, So let's get right into it. I'm going to start, I always start at the largest time frame possible, weekly, just to see if there's, because the system I trade, it's called the Measure Move trading system, okay, by David Halsey. It's a fractalizing and self-referential trading system, okay? So it's fractalizing in that there are macro setups here on the weekly, and there are micro setups all the way down to the 1 second, okay? The theory applies to every single time frame on every single asset, okay? And now the self-referential, I'll get into that right now. It basically is just saying, each setup refers to its previous setup, and it creates what we call a series. And as Measure Move traders, that's what we're really looking for. We're looking for the series. We're not looking for, well, that just gives us a highest probability of reaching target. So that's what we look for. We look for high quality setups. So back to the charting. Here we are, Bitcoin USDT on the weekly. Not much to see, just other than parabolic rise in Bitcoin. Everybody knows about that. So we'll go one level down to the daily. Get a little more information, but we know, here is the absolute low, or not absolute, the low of the 2017 bear market, or 2018 bear market, excuse me, and here's the COVID crash low. So for my system, I'm always trading fib retracements, and if anything breaks the 70.7% retracement, that is considered a stop loss for me, and that breaks the setup. So on this largest time frame here in the daily, there's nothing here for me to look at. Nothing active at least. So what I'm going to go is from the lowest point, which is the COVID crash, and we're just going to chart from there. So, excuse me, not the lowest point. The lowest point of any readable setup. The lowest point obviously would be 3.2K, but from there, I'll just show you. It's you can see it in any way. I'll just do the fib. Broke the 70.7% right there. That was the stop loss. So what we do from there is we go one time frame closer, and I use the 9 hour. My friend, Ferry Hendricks, he said your time frames should be at least a 3-to-1. Now this should be 8 hour if it is truly 3-to-1, but I'm a weird fanatic of the numbers 3, 6, and 9, so I try to make anything divisible by those numbers. But anyway, let's get to it. So here we are. We have the COVID crash from March of 2020. From there, we're gonna start. And we're actually gonna go to 3 hour because there's a lot that we can see. Let me get all the way over there. Okay, here we are. So we start from the low of the COVID crash, and we get our first setup that actually reached target. Okay, so the just basics here, measure and move. Let me get this. Just give you a quick example so we don't have to spend too much time on this. Now this is the basic measure move. A basic measure move is when you're using the absolute low to the most relevant absolute high. Obviously, we didn't have any of this price data here before reaching target, so we can only go off what is this low and this high, which is the reversal after that low. All right, so from there, the actual entry for a basic measure move setup is the 50% and the 61.8%. And front runs of those, you know, front run is kind of the interpretable part of the system. And I mean, it's not interpretable. You can just make it what you want. All right. So what you're looking for is the entries in between this zone. Ideally, you're going to have something price going, you know, it does this. There's your high, and then 1, 2, 3. You're looking for a 3-wave kind of. I'm not trying to get Elliott wave, but you're looking for a 3-wave into your setup, and then from there, ideally, it's going straight to your target, which is the negative 23.6 or 123.6% of the fib retracement. Now that we got that basic part out of the way, we can start get back to Bitcoin here. And by the way, I'm not going to do a full analysis on every chart here because I plan on doing the top 10 market cap. That would take too long. I want to try to keep this as short or sweet as I can. So we're just going to get going here. So here's the self-referential part of this system. Once this has met target, you now have a new set of pivots to base on. What a lot of people might do is, okay, they'll see that there's this high. Okay, they'll use the absolute low from the COVID crash. Well, unfortunately, if you did that, you wouldn't have actually gotten a chance to enter because you never got to the 50, okay? Never got to the 50. Sure, if you traded the 382, that would have been great. You did great there. But with this system, you're entering at the 50 and the 618, okay? So here's the self-referential part. The previous setup, the first setup, met target, okay? And from there, we use the low, because we are charting bullish setups. We use the low of the previous setup and the high after, or the absolute high after we reach target, okay? So here we have a perfect wick entry straight at the 50, all right? I'm going to make this more visible. All right, so we've got, here's our first setup with the low, high, go straight to the 50, reverses. Obviously didn't get it there, but we stick saved with the 7-7 stop loss, met target. Our next setup is the next in the traditional measure move series. Again, we're looking for the series. Low here to high, straight to the 50, and over time, you can call, there's a lot of people that will call this an actual meeting of the target and a front run. You know, this is kind of semi-based on an algorithm. So, you know, take what you will. Algorithms are lines of code. There's not a lot of interpretation that are going on, is going on. So for me, I do my best to trade the algorithm. You know, obviously I'm not a robot. I do my best to act like a robot. We're all humans. We make mistakes. This is a long journey of removing mistakes from our trading. Okay, I would not consider this have taken profit yet. So what I would do is I wait. You know, it's a waiting game, tick by tick. Excuse me. So when we actually reach target from this setup here is here. It did take a while, but it eventually met. So let's complete that. And I have different templates for what is the current trading set measured move, the completed measured move, so I can follow the series back to, so I don't have to chart the entire thing in order to understand where I'm at, and the opposing. So, and I'll get in the opposing once we actually find the setup there. Next, so we've got one setup here that met target, one setup here that also met target. Next, we're going to be going for what you would expect is the traditional series to continue. Now, for measured move, if price breaks its profit target, what you have to do there is you then chart what is called the extension. And an extension, rather than using the low of the previous setup, which, get the arrow, would be here, right? You would be doing something like this. Oh, excuse me. You would be doing something like this. okay, you'd be using this low and this high, and you'd be expecting an entry in this area. But you're not, this obviously that we didn't get that. Hindsight bias, we obviously didn't get that. What we did get is an extension entry, okay? Extension, again, is a self-referential setup that uses the high instead of the low, okay? The high of the previous setup as the new low, and the new high after the setup has met target as its new high, okay? There will be a much more in-depth discussion of this trading style that I do. If you have any questions, please let me know, or just wait until then. It'll be soon, or just come into the Discord, my Twitter, anything. Just ask away. I love talking about it. Anyway, so when it comes to the extensions, there's two different nuances here. The extension enters in 3 entries instead of the 2, which the first 2 is 50 and 618. The extension enters at the 38.2, the 50, and the 618, okay? The theory behind the extension is that the computers are trying to catch up with the market. I mean, whenever something breaks a profit target, it kind of signifies a little extra momentum and a little extra bullish or bearishness. Obviously, it depends on direction, but so that's the theory behind it. The next nuance for the extension setups is that you have to witness and observe the first one before you trade it, okay? The market has to confirm to you as the trader. The chart has to say to you that the market is actually this strong, essentially, because an extension it signifies strength, okay? Strength within trend. So the first one, it has to be observed. You don't trade it, you're just watching it. You can set alerts, do what you want. Just don't trade it. I mean, if you do, you're going to be losing a lot more, because while the extension setup does, it gives you insight into the strength of trend, the expanded extension is what we trade, and that is the second setup off of the same high, okay? Let me get the arrows here. So here we've got the low, this low of this extension setup here is the high of the previous setup, okay? The high is obviously the new high after target. So this is the first extension. I'll even just make a little note, so we just keep track, okay? Let's make that smaller. This is our extension. And it's the first one. We don't trade it. We don't trade the extension. We trade the expanded extension, okay? And the expanded extension is when we have the profit target, or excuse me, the price breaks through the profit target. It blows through profit target of the extension, okay? So this extension has entered here. It blew through profit target here. And so we draw an extension as opposed to a basic move. With this being the second extension off of the basic move, this is called an expanded extension. It's an expansion of an extension, okay? And this is, again, what we trade. I'm beating a dead horse there. Let me not get stuck on that. So let's just get back to the charting. So here we have an extension. It, again, enters. This is another nuance. Enters at the 382, the 50, and the 618. What do we get here? A wick entry at the 382, okay? Goes straight to target, reverses straight at target, all right? And then let's get expanded extension. We're going to try to keep this as, as legit as we can. So that is an expanded extension. Now we're going to do the same thing, because extensions, we're in the series, okay? It will always use the same pivots, and this is where the self-referential behavior comes in. It will use the same pivots until broken. It has to use those same pivots until it breaks, until we either break through until price breaks through the profit target, or the setups are stopped. Neither what's happened now is neither has actually happened. We reversed straight at target, okay, and we still haven't gotten stopped. How do I know that? Because, well, obviously I've charted this before, but I can kind of just see as well. It goes straight to our next entry, and both entries are in. We get a lovely reversal straight at the 618. And I mean, everybody knows about the 618, right? But it's always, it's which 618. It's the meat and potatoes of the system is the pivots that are chosen. It's the self-referential system, okay? It's why this system is good, is because it refers to itself. But anyway, it's another expanded extension. It's the third one, so this is good. let's just keep going. I'm taking way too long. Now this one took forever. I remember this. This trade took forever, but it still got there. All right. Let's take a look. So we ended up reaching target right here. So here's a long ass trade that eventually met target. Let's continue on. Now I'm gonna have to go a little further out just to even include it all, but here we are using another expanded extension. You can't even see because the text is too big there. Now, with extensions, what can happen is that until the setup is triggered, and the trigger for a setup, okay, is actually the 382. Once price reaches the 382, you can kind of lock in the pivots, all right? Especially with extension, obviously, because it enters at the 382. You can lock in the pivots and feel good that these pivots are going to be relevant. What you'll see here, now we have this high, obviously, right? Got that high. A lot of people would think, all right, well, why don't I just use that? Well, you can, but you wouldn't actually have entered. You wouldn't have gotten a good entry. I mean, we do have a front run even still, but we never reached a 382. So come on, we never actually confirmed this pivot. So once price make another new high, then we are now using that high. Remember, it's an absolute high situation unless the pivots are locked with a 382 touch. In this situation, we use this high here, and we're still using the previous high of the second basic move setup because that hasn't broken yet, all right? So we're continuing. Obviously, it gets parabolic here. Profit target there. Let me try to include more because there are more setups. So, this is an example of price breaking through profit target and an extension holding. So we're in an extension of an expanded extension, okay? This is where shit gets super bullish, and obviously, in effect, you see the bullishness happen as well. We're just going to try to keep it as visible as possible. Okay, so we now have a confirmed extension. So we're going to do the same thing we did before with the second basic move, but we're now using it off of the top of the high of the, the third or fourth expanded extension. This is, again, the meat and potatoes of the system is its self-referential nature. So we're going to use the low. The low of this setup is the high of the previous extension. We're using the absolute high after it blasted through profit target. And we have a pivot lock here at the 382, okay? Now let's scoot on over until we actually reach a target, which we do right here. So here was our trade. It was a front run of the 50, but it did enter the 382. That was our entry. That's our target. And we're going to continue on. I'm hoping you guys are kind of getting the way that these setups happen, so I don't have to explain too much anymore. We're going to do again. We're going to use the high that was we're going to use the low that was the high of the previous extension setup. This is getting confusing, I can tell. And this is I remember calling this. This was great. This is pre-20K break. All right, this was an extension setup that, again, pivot locks here, also entered at the 382, was a front run of the 50. We see that often, especially in these really trendy bullish markets. What I liked about this setup, man, I was super long here. It felt great. Let me get... Yeah, I'll go down the hour just to give you an idea of the specific setup that I was looking at here. I'm already... What is this? Already at 18 minutes. Oh, jeez. God, this is just Bitcoin. Okay, well, we're going to speed up a lot after this. This is going to be a lot of in-depth stuff here. So we have a great reaction at the median line, and we end up pumping. Okay, let's get a little quicker. Done too much explaining. So here we are again. Extension, expanded extension, expanded extension, and we break through profit target again off this setup, and that was the 20K high. We are going to be using the absolute high after we break profit target, and we have an extension that has met target. The entry was right at the 50. That's perfect. We love seeing that. And now, do we get another extension? Let's take a look. That's when shit gets so cool. Oh man, yeah, we do. Okay, great. So when you see things like this, extensions on extension on extensions, eventually it just literally turns into a parabolic move because it just means price is just moving so fast. Okay. So again, when extensions of extensions, and now here's our expanded extension. All right. Met target. we're going to look for another expanded extension. And guess what happened? And this is actually one of the posts I made with Bitcoin performance, or excuse me, Bitcoin looked for 47.4K. Oh, wait. This is interesting. It looks like we broke the setup here. Okay, hold on. So what happens next? So we actually go, this is where the fractalizing thing comes in. Now that this setup is broken, we have to find, is the series broken? The series is not broken because we just go back to this setup here where this is the extension and this is now the expanded extension, okay? So these two setups, we can get rid of them because they're no longer relevant to our trading. But what do we see? Beautiful trading here with entries at the 50 wick, another smash down, but it didn't hit second entry, but that's okay. And again, it just accumulated right in our entry, and we love seeing that. It's really good to see the rounding bottom right there. From there, we obviously saw a target of 47.4K. Great stuff. And, you know, this is kind of reminding me here what we could get a dump that's just going to shake out a lot of people. What I'm actually expecting here is that we just continue going on. And the good thing about these extensions is that they can actually act as trailing stops. I mean, let's just say you're not long from, you know, the COVID crash low. There's many people that aren't, okay? This is a trend following system, okay? The series is the trend. This is why we're looking for the series, is because it's the trend. We want the trend. Let's just say that you were long, you know, you entered long around here. You bought the dip, BTFD, and you ended up having you let's just say you didn't take profit. You can take solace in knowing that the 707 does act as a trailing stop, and luckily enough, we didn't. It doesn't look. I don't think we broke. It looks like we stick broke. Okay, well that's just for the what is it? The trailing stop. Oh, God, just barely. That's always tough to see. But the good thing about it is that we know that we have this extension because, again, remember, it broke the high, so we now use the absolute high. The only thing I don't like about this this whole Bitcoin setup right now is this marginally higher high. Like there's this high and just a little higher, and then a massive dump that actually broke consolidation. That is going to be the only thing that I'm thinking that can provide any kind of bearish case. Other than that, we are bullish above $44,214, and that is Bitcoin USDT on Binance. I know there's a little exchange differences there. That's we're caught up. You know, that's from COVID crash low, and this has been a phenomenal trend in terms of the measure move trading system. Let me get these out of the way. COVID crash low. First setup, second setup was basic move. Then we got the extension. Then we got an expanded extension. Then we get another expanded extension. Even after all these pivots, we get another expanded extension. And then guess what? We break through price. We get another extension. Okay, and then this is kind of what I'm getting reminded of here, of the trading of today. We do have these kind of, oh, that was a little too close. Marginally higher highs here, and here. But what happened? We went, let me zoom out. We went straight to our extension setup and straight to target. That is what I'm thinking we're happening here, but let's get back to it. So we have extension, expanded extension, broke 20K high, extension, expanded extension, met target, looking for another extension. Okay, and with the reversal at the entry, guys, I mean, this is really bullish. It looks great. Probability-wise, we are looking at a target of 51,500 on the perpetual, which is what our Binance perpetual. I did post the trading view post. It was about 50,900. Little discrepancy, but nothing. You know, the setups are the same. We're finally caught up on Bitcoin. I'm sorry that took so long. What was that? That's fucking 20-something minutes just on Bitcoin alone. But there was a lot of deep dive into how I trade. There's going to be an even deeper dive. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I'll answer as much as I can. Let's move on from Bitcoin here, okay? And we're just gonna fly through these next ones because I'm gonna give you an update. You know how I got to here. I'm just gonna give you an update of where we're at. Ethereum. Let's keep pumping Ethereum, man. It's too great. Now we've got it from the low. I'm just gonna start from the low. We've got COVID crash, traditional move. There's a lot more stuff going on. There are a lot more setups in here, but what's relevant is either way, if I were to include all the setups in here, we'd be using this pivot here. So it becomes a moot point. In terms of hindsight, okay, in terms of the moment, God, that would the moment of trading, I would never do something like that. You have to use the pivots in the moment. That's how the algorithms are doing it, and that's how I'm going to be doing it. But anyway, so from there we have an extension, another extension, an expanded extension is what we're in right now, and we did get a reversal right at the 382. Okay. Moving on, we got number 3, ADA. Just absolutely been crushing at this coin. I actually haven't even charted this because I've just been my head stuck in the sand about this DeFi stuff. So unfortunately I've missed all of this. I'm not going to go, oh man, maybe I will analyze this real quick and I'll just edit out. I'll skip and let's just see. Okay. Oh, maybe it'll even be quick. I won't even have to edit. Maybe it'll be quick because this coin has just absolutely been ripping, okay? Ripping. Oh, God, you can't even get a good... There it is. That's the first target met. Let's go down. Maybe this will happen quickly. Okay, we've got extension here. I bet there's a lot of 88 people that are going to like this, though. And then we got the expanded extension. Okay, I'm not going to be as precise here because at the end of the day, the pivots are there. We got another extension off of that. This is, this is what I was saying. You get your basic move, you get your extension, then you get your expanded extension, and then you observe a parabolic move. What are we looking at right now? We're looking at basic move, extension, expanded extension, parabolic move. This trading system is beautiful when you follow it to the T. Or at least the way I've done it. Now we've got an extension off of that extension. And we're looking for an expanded extension. So we're very similar to Ethereum here. Almost the exact same setup, actually. Yep. It's just this actually went to its 50 and rather than just its 382. All right. So we are bullish above 60 cents. Let's just call it 61 cents for ADA. We're looking for a target of $1.10. You ADA people are going to love it. I forgot I didn't give you bullish above on Ethereum. We're bullish above 1500. And we're looking for a target of, let's just call it 2K. Let's move to DOT. Oh, God. Okay, I've charted this on the perpetual. I know it's going to be a little different, but don't worry about it. It's good enough. From the low, what are we looking at? Looks like... Wow. Yeah, this looks like the only one that I don't know how I don't have it. Looks like I had to go from the micro setups, but... even the micro or macro, they're all doing well. I actually do need to update this, it seems. So this one, I would have said, yep, that's extension, entered, met target there. And what do we get? We get an extension off of that extension. And we are now trading the expanded extension. A lot of setups are going to be similar here because crypto is correlated. And we are trying to find the non-correlated ones in order to, get some asymmetric gains. So we're expanded extension here on DOT. Great reversal with the correction channel. In the setup, saved by, a few bucks on, or what is it, like quarter of a cent. Amazing. So our stop is 22.68. We're bullish above 22.68, and we're looking for a target 32.87. Let's move on to XRP Ripple. All right, I did a post about this recently. With the pump and dump that's been occurring on this coin, you would not be expecting a valid series, or at least you wouldn't be expecting a series at all, just because it's been breaking everything. The only thing that we've got right now for XRP, and I did post this, is this long setup from the low. Oh God, even there it was actually taken out. So what is this? Where target is 3 times our entry. It is not. So this did get stopped. Perpetual futures didn't. And I think that's where I posted that from. Let's just take a look real quick. Oh, it did even there. So, the setup did get stopped. So from there, let's go back to the spot chart. We'll go micro here. So we'll just analyze this. We've got a good setup there. That met target. Looks like we're going to get another one in the series. Yeah. that met target. Now, does this looks like it might break the series, but might be a all the way halfway back. It does not break the series, which is phenomenal. And we probably get a good channel off of this too. Get an excellent channel off of this as well. Reversal at the lower boundary in a setup. So our bullish above for XRP is 50.6 cents. And our target is 68.7 cents. Ultimate target, I mean, I am going to consider this with this just being such a volatile dump. I'm going to consider this setup still valid. We're just going to be following the nested setups up until around 90 cents. All right. And that is Ripple bullish above in the really large time frames, bullish above this low here. I don't normally lose pivots, but this would be my stop anyway. So 34.5 cents. And on the micro setups, we're about 50.5 cents as well. Now, next is Binance Coin, the actual ripper that's just been going on. I do have this on the perpetual, I'm pretty sure. Wow, look at the extra dump that occurred there. That's wild. This is extension setup. We're bullish above 97.07. The channel doesn't look as good because it didn't actually meet the lower boundary. It's good enough, I would say. I mean, yeah, that's good enough for me because of just the reaction of the other crypto market, the other crypto pairs have been having as well. From the low, I think we can just feel confident that, yeah, what is this? That's stop, so I don't need that one. Yeah, here's the all the way halfway back that met. Oh no, that wasn't stopped. Yeah, there we go. So, and then there's the series. Target, extension, extension of extension, extension of an extension. So this isn't exactly one we would be trading unless there's a smaller one that I can find. Yes, there is. Right there. So this is an expanded extension. We do trade this. We are long this for sure. Yeah, expanded extension here. So we're looking at bullish above 97.07 and we're looking for a target of 165.62. God, can you believe it? What's next? We have Litecoin. Love Litecoin. It's been trading really cleanly on the nested setups, but funny enough, there's just one pivot this one dump that really kind of messed up the series per se. You could call this an all the way halfway back, but I don't like it because I mean this is look at this. This is like a 6% front run. Come on, that's too much for me. I wouldn't call that front run, but we're going to have to allow it because it reversed right at target, okay? When I was in Trade Devils, a lot of the senseis there, they told me that the algorithm footprints are less the entries and more the profit targets. I actually agree with that now as I've been using the system a lot more. I used to think it was just the entries, but 50s are everywhere, okay? They're absolutely everywhere. You should be buying them when they're associated with the correct pivots. So we did get a reversal from the low. We have this series, but again, like I said, this dump kind of messed things up. So from this nested low, let's zoom in a bit. This nested series, we got basic move, traditional, which met target, extension, expanded extension, reversed right at the just below the 618. And we do, I think we get a good correction channel. It's really damn sharp though. But us consolidating below and then pumping above, especially above the median line and the upper boundary, we can feel really good about this. And maybe if there's a setup, a micro setup, a nested setup, we'd be getting something like that. But I would feel better from the absolute low because when you get this volatility, you know, you're going to need price to really define itself and tell you what it wants to, where it wants to consolidate and all that. Yeah, you can maybe get a case that we're coming down here to this setup to challenge this consolidation here. A lot of different things going on there with Litecoin. Either way, our directional bias is bullish above 179.83, and we're looking for a target of 247. Next is Bitcoin Cash. I can't believe how hard this ripped after its dump. It broke highs, but we are looking at marginally higher highs here. So that I'm not going to be saying we should be expecting an absolute correction, but it's never too convincing when you have those marginally higher highs or marginally lower lows in terms of continuing a trend. It kind of signals exhaustion in price. With this one, it's not as clean either because we do have a series from the low, but we've only locked the pivots at the 382. I would be surprised if we'd reach target from here, but that could signify just even more bullishness. If we reach target with only reaching the 382 in a basic in a traditional series, that could really signify some bullishness. but we're wait and see mode there. So we are bullish above 481.04 and looking for a target of 883, or excuse me, 838. Humongous setups here. Next is Link, everyone's favorite DeFi coin. This is a beautiful traditional series from the low. We got the traditional here, met target, traditional here, met, or let me get the arrow going. Entry, target, entry, target, entry. This is a front run, super front run, just like we might see in Litecoin, or excuse me, Bitcoin Cash, maybe even Litecoin too. We didn't actually ever get the 50 entry, but we did lock pivots, so that's why we have it there. And then the next measure move in the series would be this. Let's get down to 3 hour. Would be from this low to this high. We did reverse right below the 618, and we can feel pretty good about that being a significant pivot. Bullish above 26.58, looking for a target of 38.72. Last but not least, we got Stellar. I love Stellar for its fundamentals. I just don't trade it as often because I don't actually own any. I can just looking at this, you can tell that there's gonna be a really nice series from the low. I haven't charted this just yet. I mean, this is COVID crash, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna do this really as fast as I possibly can, so we can keep this video short. Might even fast forward. Wow, this is just all the way halfway back, continual all the way halfway back, over and over again. But man, did we get a crazy pump off of this one. Did we actually develop a series here though? Let's take a look. We did, and we're above. Yeah, okay, great. So we are trading the series here. This is what my eye initially saw, and I'm glad it's not stopped out or a broken series, because we should be right in the next setup. Maybe a little front run. Yeah, a little front run, but we are definitely in this setup. So what are we looking for here? We're bullish above. I always try to get these perfect because these are important levels. We're bullish above 32.6, and we're looking for a target of 70 cents. Wow, these are humongous setups. To get better clarity, maybe we can, take a look at the low, or excuse me, the nested setups. I wouldn't be actually surprised if we did break these lows just to run some stops. But we're either way, I'd be glad for that, because that would be taking us a lot closer to our entry. We can get a better risk reward there. Bullish above 32.6, like I said, and looking at a target of 70 cents. That is top 10 market cap. Okay, that took a lot longer than I expected. I wanted this to try to stay under 30 minutes, only 8 minutes over, but I did go a lot deeper into the Bitcoin analysis as to how I trade, why these pivots are important to me, the extensions, the expanded extensions, basic moves. I mean, in reality, there's only 3 setups in total that I use. There's just other confluent factors that really can influence my directional bias, and like correction channels. I only ever use correction channels. I don't use what Elliott wave traders would call like base channels or wave 2, wave 2, wave 4 channels. I only use correction because I definitely agree that there is a 3-wave structure to most corrections, and that was something maybe we can talk about later on. But as it stands, guys, I have gone way too long for this one. I'm hoping that this was informative. Expect much more things like this to come, where I'm kind of going over a broad number of assets. Obviously, this is crypto market cap, the top 10. I'm kind of just trying to get as far out there as I can. I'll be doing things like top 10 DeFi market cap, top 10 NFT, even if there's NFT token 10 NFT tokens. There's gonna just be a lot more to come. Please, stay tuned, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever, like, comment, join our Discord. I'll have all the links. Follow me on Twitter. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.